Have you ever felt a moment where time stopped? Where something hit you so hard, not physically but mentally, that you knew deep down you would never look at life the same way again? You didn't expect it. You weren't prepared for it. But in a split second, everything inside of you shifted. That's what this video is designed to do, to give you a shift. A wake-up call, a spark. Not through magic, not through fantasy, but through truth. Raw, undeniable truth about who you are, what you've accepted, and what you're truly capable of. Most people live their lives asleep, eyes open, heart closed, rushing from one day to the next, checking boxes, avoiding pain, seeking comfort. Still reaching? Still curious? Still hungry? And that's the part we're going to feed today. They don't realize how many chances they've already missed, how many dreams they've abandoned, how many parts of themselves they've buried under years of fear, doubt, and distraction. It happens gradually, one compromise at a time, one skipped workout, one ignored red flag, one more hour wasted scrolling through someone else's highlight reel, until one day they look in the mirror and don't know who they are anymore. Not your intentions, your standards. What you tolerate, what you allow, what you settle for. You are not most people because you're here. And that means something in you is still alive. Not because you're weak, but because you were never taught to face it head on. You were taught to avoid, to distract, to numb. But avoidance doesn't save you. It only delays the battle. And every day you delay, the cost grows higher. Let's start with one of the hardest truths. Your life right now is the result of your standards, not your dreams. People don't suddenly wake up and find themselves in miserable jobs, toxic relationships, or bodies they don't recognize. Change doesn't come when it's convenient. Change comes when it's necessary. And for most, that necessity is triggered by pain. And the cruel truth is, we don't realize how little of it we have until it's too late. But why wait until life forces you to move? Why wait for the heartbreak, the breakdown, the diagnosis, the job loss, the bottom? Why not choose transformation before tragedy? Someone who does hard things, even when no one is watching. Someone who lives aligned with their values, not their fears. Because here's the secret. Everything you want is already available to you. The discipline, the focus, the courage, the purpose. It's not out there. It's in you, waiting to be claimed. Waiting for you to stop making excuses and start making decisions. But to claim it, you have to be willing to confront some uncomfortable things. You have to look at how often you lie to yourself. How often you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," knowing tomorrow never comes. How often you tell people you're fine when you're anything but. How often you say you don't have time while spending hours on things that give you nothing back. How often you say you can when what you really mean is "I'm afraid to try." Fear has been running your life. You lose confidence, you lose opportunities, you lose time. Time is the most unforgiving currency in the universe. You can't pause it, you can't rewind it, you can only spend it. So the question becomes, what will you do with the time you have left? Will you use it to stay comfortable? Or will you use it to become powerful? Becoming powerful isn't about becoming famous or rich or admired. It's about becoming someone you respect. Someone who looks in the mirror and feels proud. You become powerful by doing the work no one else wants to do. Waking up early, setting boundaries, saying no to what doesn't serve you, saying yes to what scares you, staying consistent even when it's boring. Taking ownership of your mistakes instead of blaming others. That's not glamorous, that's not flashy, but that's the path. And if you stay on it, something amazing happens. You start to trust yourself. You start to believe in your ability to grow. You start to see your future not as a fantasy, but as a responsibility. Because once you understand that you are the author of your story, you stop writing chapters you hate. Maybe you were told your story was already written. People like you don't get to dream big. That your past defines your future. That your environment is your destiny. But none of that is true unless you accept it as truth. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not your failures. You are what you decide to become now. And the moment you realize that, your life begins to change, not instantly, but gradually, quietly, powerfully. You'll start waking up with more clarity. You'll start walking with more confidence. You'll start setting goals that actually matter to you, not to impress others, but to become who you were meant to be. And yes, people will doubt you, lost the identity you've clung to for so long. They'll question your choices. They'll mock your discipline. They'll laugh at your goals. But that's okay. That's how you know you're doing something different. Something most people are too afraid to even attempt, because truthfully, most people don't want to grow. Growth requires loss. Loss of comfort. Loss of familiarity. But what you gain is worth more than anything you'll leave behind. You gain freedom. You gain self-respect. You gain the ability to look at your life and say, I built this. I earned this. And eventually you'll inspire others. Not through words, but through action, through presence, through example. That's the ripple effect of one person waking up. One person choosing truth over comfort. Motivation fades. This is a reminder of your power. One person refusing to be a victim of circumstance. One person deciding their life will not be wasted. Let them stir something inside you that cannot be ignored. Maybe that person is you. So take this moment as a turning point. Don't just hear these words, feel them, let them sink in. This is not motivation. You don't need more time. You don't need perfect conditions. But if you keep going, if you keep growing, you will look back one day and realize you don't need approval. You need a decision. Decide to become the person you were meant to be. Decide to let go of who you were. Decide to show up every day, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when no one believes in you. You'll fall, you'll fail, you'll question everything. You were never the same after this, because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. Once you feel your potential, you can't forget it. And once you begin to rise, no force in this world can hold you back unless you let it to rise. Because this is your moment, and you'll never be the same again.